we're going to talk about broadening formations, which is kind of the market's dirty little secret. If you ever feel like the market's just messing with you, like it breaks out and then it dumps right after, that's not random. That's a broadening formation, and the strat is built to help you see it coming. So a broadening formation is when price starts making higher highs and lower lows over time. So the chart looks like it's widening out like a megaphone. So the market's not broken. This is just how it grabs liquidity. So I'll draw a couple of these broadening formations with you. So here we have a higher high, and then we have a lower low, right? This is the previous high, and we have one that's higher, and then this is the previous low, and we have one that's lower, right? So it's kind of like a megaphone here, if you can see that. So when I said that it grabs liquidity is other people's money, right? Stop losses, pending orders. The market moves in that direction to fill those big positions, right? So if this is the low that everyone thinks that the price is gone, then if it goes to a lower low, then it's taking out the people who are resting there at that low, right? Same thing to the upside. So it goes up to stop out short sellers, and when it drops, it stops out long traders, right? So it's reclaiming that liquidity, sweeping out both sides before making the real move. So these formations often begin with a mother bar, which we'll talk about later, and you'll see price get stuck inside of a candle in a range. So actually, let me talk about mother bars now. Let me find one. So here, this is a mother bar, right? All of this price action was stuck within the high and low of this big bar. So that is what a mother bar is, right? You're just in a range, in a previous candle's range for a while, right? And then when you break out in either direction, you start in expansion, and that is the break of a broadening formation. So why does this happen? Mostly just because the market's not fair, right? It's hunting for stop losses and to fill big orders. So a broadening formation shows that. It's a battle between the buyers and sellers, and it stretches the range before resolving. So how do you spot them? Look at the chart, and where the highs are getting higher and the lows are getting lower, you can see them, right? So you just draw your line connecting the most recent swing highs and the most recent swing lows. If it looks like a megaphone, then that is a broadening formation. How you trade it, you would use the edges of the formation, right? So when price tags a prior high, watch for a reversal back down, and vice versa, right? These areas are perfect spots for strat setups. And I'll talk about the setups in a later video. So this helps you to not be predicting. You're watching price action, and it will help you know where the other people are trapped, so you have an edge, right? Because if we make a higher high, the likelihood that we go from one side of the range, so if we go from the highest part of the range down to low part of the range, increases, right? Because we've made a higher high. So now it's time to make a lower low, right? So that's how that works. This is how you draw broadening formations. I'll draw a few. I was drawing broadening formations for you. So let's draw a couple. Higher highs and lower lows. And with the broadening formation, you should be able to, I don't know if Tesla's the best one to draw on. Just because I have so many lines on it already, I don't want to delete. Let's see if a firm gives us something. So higher highs, lower lows. Yeah, I can delete these. And honestly, the easiest way to spot a broadening formation is to draw some lines, right? So if I draw this high, low, so we're going back up to the highs, right? And you should be able to get these arrows like boom, boom, boom. And sometimes they're not super clean. Like this one, you could argue that it did high, tried to come down, couldn't make a low, made a higher high, boom, boom. Still, this would be my broadening formation. Regardless of how I draw my little line doodles, this would be my broadening formation. Well, pardon me. Let me make sure that this... Okay, so I would probably draw it like this. And then this low is not a lower low. So it's easier if you draw your extended lines from right to left, right? Because here, just with my eyes, like this kind of looked like it was lower, but I can see that it's not now that I've drawn the line. So it's a lot easier if you start from the lower low and then find one that's higher. If you start from the higher high and find one that's lower, okay? Oops. So there is that. And this is your broadening formation, right? And you can draw them on any time frame, right? Like if you want to get really tight, I can draw them on the hour. I can draw them on the 5, on the 15, it doesn't matter. So on the hour, this would be my broadening formation. Higher high, lower low. So what did we do? Started here, made a higher high. What does that mean? It means that we're likely to go to the other side of the range. Made a lower low. So now what are we going to do? We're trying to make a higher high, go to the other side of the range, right? And the more that you trade, the more that you'll see these, the more you'll be able to draw them. Honestly, like homework practice would be to draw 100 of these a day for a week. So by the end of the week, you've drawn 700 broadening formations. It'll just be easier for you to see them, right? So SMCI, if I'm zooming out, and you don't have to go too far. It's all dependent on the time frame that you're trading on, how far out you're going to go on these. So if I want to draw one on the week, which is what this one was, right? See, higher high. And this is inside of a mother bar that we spoke about for a while. So because this was inside of a mother bar, we haven't gone to the other side of the range yet. Right. This huge bar is a mother bar, right? Because all of this price action happened inside of the previous range. So we just broke out of that, and this week, this is the first time we made a higher high. Okay. And again, right, this works on any time frame. This is the quarterly. So I was just looking at how long SMCI has been around. So you have your lower lows here. Your higher highs would be from here to like here, right? Oops. Because it'd be from, yeah, from here to here. So expanded the range, came back in, boom, boom. But yeah, I would definitely practice drawing 100 a day for 7 days minimum and just see how well you can do. And you'll start to get the hang of it for sure. We're in a crazy market right now. Everything's just so bullish. But if I was going to draw my highs on the week, it would look like that. So I'm waiting for up here. We will see. It's pretty aggressive, but those are broadening formations.